a question for you.
Okay.
Are you an Ariana Grande fan?
No, not really.
So you're not familiar with the music video for the hit 2014 single Break Free?
I know the song I Want to Break Free. I don't think that's her.
I don't even know if that's what I don't know if that's what it's called. We're going to be talking about the film Barbarella today.
Nice.
Classic cult 1968 hit sensation. Also, for everyone at home, if you haven't seen this movie, that's fine. Rhys has not seen it either.
I have not.
I'm going to put in right now. I'm going to ask him at the end of this video if he wishes he watched it beforehand or not. I'm going to put that in right here.
I do want to watch this.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
That genuinely, it sounds so bizarre. And I really want to see it.
I'm going to frame the question again. Do you wish you saw this before I described it to you?
I don't think it would change anything.
We don't know what he says yet, obviously.
I'm going to answer.
The film Barbarella opens on a spaceship, and it looks stupid. I mean, it looks cool, but it's a silly design for a spaceship. In the background, it's space.
Okay.
It's very blue space.
Are they actually in space?
No, that's not how movies work.
It can be.
It's very blue space. It looks like they're underwater. They're not, though. It's space.
Okay.
Also, feel free to interrupt me at any point.
I already have.
And I'm going to throw in a fake detail that could be a trivia piece, could be a plot point, a detail that is going to be fake. At the end, I'm going to make you guess what it is.
Okay.
And forewarning, it won't be easy. And also forewarning, I haven't come up with a fake thing yet. This is going to happen at some point.
I think this entire movie's fake. I think that's the twist.
All right. It opens on a spaceship.
Okay.
Right? Blue space, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cut inside. There's Barbarella. We don't know it's her yet. She's in a space suit. It looks like, you know, that material that they put in bags to keep things warm?
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah, okay.
And then she has this black, helmet on. All right, so the inside of the spaceship, it's really weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you about the spacesuit. We talked about that.
Yeah.
What are those called? I hesitated before I wrote down spacesuit. That's not what it's called, right?
I think it is. They're not called spacesuit?
I don't know. Whatever it's called.
There's an astronaut, and they wear spacesuits.
Okay, that's what it
It's a suit for space, and we're not a creative species.
No, we're very... She is from Earth. That's a good thing you brought that up.
Yeah.
She is from Earth.
That's why her name is
That-
Barbarella.
That would have come up. I found out this was never said in the movie. I looked up some trivia. The marketing material said this was set in the 401st century.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, but
So it was a while ago.
a while ago, yeah.
And but it's at Earth, so it's not a place far, far away. It's just a long time ago.
Well, we don't know. She's not on Earth.
Oh.
She's from Earth, though.
Okay.
So the spaceship that she's in, the walls are made of carpet. There's this brown, furry carpet
Gotta
on the
make
walls.
it safe when you're flying around space.
And on the left side of the screen, there's a portrait of, you know that famous painting of like a woman holding an umbrella? I saw the name, but it's
I think
French.
you're just thinking of Mary Poppins. I have no
Okay,
idea.
picture Mary Poppins, but drawn by like a French person.
Okay.
It's in there. And then on the right is a statue of a woman holding like a crescent moon in one
Okay.
arm, and she has one breast out.
That makes sense.
All right, so the theme song kicks in, and it's a
theme song.
banger.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. What happens first?
Like there's a soundtrack that it's
There's a
her
soundtrack.
Barbarella thing, or
I'm
it's
gonna
like
sing
her
it for you.
literal
I'm
theme
gonna
song.
sing it for you in a second.
Okay.
But before that happens, I should have mentioned this before I said the theme song thing. I got ahead of myself because I'm so
Okay.
excited. Her helmet drains. It's like a black helmet. Turns
Yeah.
out it's black liquid. Just drains down. It's super weird and gross.
Yeah, because we can all breathe in black liquid.
Anyway, she begins taking off the spacesuit.
Yeah.
And the theme song kicks in, and I'm gonna sing it for you.
Okay.
I'll play it for you and I'll sing along.
No, I think you should just sing it.
Okay. It's a wonder, Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
You're so wild and wonderful, but it seems wherever we're together, the planets all stand still. It goes doo 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 doo. Yeah, get into it, bud.
Barbarella psychedelic.
Never can a woman name or call you. I can't remember the next part.
That's still good. That's
Thank
good.
Ugh. All right, so she's flinging off the suit,
Yeah.
like one by one. It's like just flying through zero G.
Gotcha.
Turns out she's naked under the suit,
Guess that makes
and
sense.
now she's just nude and floating in zero gravity. I can't put this part in the video. I'll probably put it in the clip of Ariana Grande because she does this in one of her music videos. I don't think she's naked in it.
Probably not.
But Barbarella is naked, and the way they filmed this is they had a sheet of plexiglass with a photo of the inside of the ship underneath, and then she was rolling on top.
Okay. Good to know.
So at the end of the song, she presses a button, like right in sync with the end of the song.
Mm-hmm.
The button turns off zero G, and she falls to the floor, which is the brown carpet.
Okay.
Then she gets a message. Her wall tells her, "Hey, you got a message from the president of Earth." She's like, "Okay." So she jumps up, and then she looks at the statue that I told you about, and then the crescent arm unfolds, and it's an iPad basically, and then she's a FaceTime with the president of Earth.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, "Hold on, let me put on some clothes. They can see each other." And he's like, "There's no time. This is important."
Why'd you take it off to begin with?
I don't know.
Like, take off the helmet and stuff. You don't need everything.
Well, she didn't know the call was coming.
True. I guess she is by herself.
Oh, and the way they, instead of saying like, hey, what they do is they hold up their hand like this, do it, and they go, love.
Love.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Love.
Love.
That's cool.
The president's like, this is a super important message and it's a secret. And the message is about a lost scientist named Durand. No relation to me, obviously.
What about the band?
The band was inspired.
Okay, actually?
Yeah. And Duran invented a weapon called the positronic ray. Barbarella's like, a weapon? Those don't exist anymore since the universe has been pacified for centuries.
Wow.
And since
Thanks, Jesus.
And since they don't know anything about the place he vanished, Barbarella wonders if they're still living, I wrote this down verbatim, Barbarella wonders if they're still living in a primitive state of neurotic irresponsibility.
Earth would.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't Earth. It's like Seti,
Oh.
I think. And apparently, if they use this weapon, it could shatter the loving union of the universe.
Oh,
Which could
union.
lead to when Barbarella's like, archaic insecurity, and then,
What does archaic mean?
like, old.
Just old
I think
insecurity?
archaic means, like, before modern technology.
Oh. I guess that would exist.
And then the president goes, war. And then she goes,
What is it
So-
good for?
and then she goes, selfish competition. The president's like, no, war. And she's like, okay.
Same thing.
Yeah, apparently Barbarella is the one for the job because they don't have any armies or police, and the president doesn't want to send his band. She is a 5-star double-rated astronavigatrix. That's what he says.
That's pretty cool.
That's good, right?
It's a good, crap, what's that thing called? Give people cards.
Business card?
Business card.
Yeah. Spacesuit.
Yeah.
We can maybe touch on it. We're not going to be the ones who solve this.
We will.
Okay, we were going to be the ones who solve this, but this is a hotly debated movie on whether it's feminist or not. Because at the time...
Yeah, I can't do that.
Right? I didn't think we'd be
I'm not
the
a
one.
sociology
It's
guy.
fascinating because,
Yeah.
like, at the time, people did not... Jane Fonda, the actress who plays Barbarella,
Oh, yeah?
became very politicized, or she herself was very political, and she became a feminist, and then she had to, like, someone asked her about, like, what about Barbarella, that movie that feminists hate? She's like, I can't change the past. It happened. Let's move on. But nowadays, I'll link some articles in the description because I used to look into this a lot.
Okay.
I can, like, it's still very sexualized in nature, but
Yeah.
there's some stuff that it's very, like, progressive for the time.
Interesting. So it's like half and half. Like,
Yeah.
so, like, today's standard is definitely not.
It,
But, like,
by
the
today's
olden
standard,
days.
I feel like people would say that it has one... this is what I would say. It's like an attempt at a feminist narrative, but one foot is stuck in a sexist world.
Okay. That's,
We'll-
regardless, that sounded good, so I like
We'll
it.
get back to it at the end. So her mission is, she quickly stands up. This isn't her mission, but
Okay.
the
She
guy
stands
goes,
up.
the guy goes, your mission is, and she stands up and salutes.
Okay.
Again, fully naked.
Oh, my God.
She's to find Durand and save the universe. He asks how she reads him. She says straight. She gets the only photograph of Durand, but it's a group photo of like 12 dudes. And she laughs in his face and says, I don't know if I'll recognize him. And then the president goes, he's pretty handsome.
Okay.
So he teleports a portable brainwave detector to her.
Okay.
It's like the Star Trek phasing thing. What's it called? It's like where you teleport yourself.
All I
You
know
have a
is the,
term for
like,
it.
beam me up.
Space suit, yeah.
Tongue
It has a built-in tongue box. Don't forget that.
box?
Yeah, and then he sends like 10 guns to Barbarella, 2 of which have like hands on it that
Okay.
you could like shake.
Ah.
They're not like pictures of hands; they're like physical hands.
And that's how you, like, hold it like that, and then you go, like,
That's what I
squeeze
thought, but it
and
turns out
shoots?
that's on the back for some reason.
Oh.
Later on, spoiler alert: she uses them when
Interesting.
she's being flown by an angel. He then says, "That's my good girl."
Ugh.
And then he goes, we should meet in the flesh. They do the love thing again.
Love.
She puts the guns in a closet and then puts on clothes in like less than a second. It's really impressive.
Dang. Is it kind of like Wonder Woman in Flash, where they just kind of, like, spin in a circle?
No,
or
she goes
something,
behind a
and clothes
wall
show
and
up?
then she just walks back out. She's in clothes.
Oh.
So more impressive than that thing. So she asks her ship, which we find out is named Alfie, and it's going to take 154 hours to get to Tau Ceti. So she goes to sleep. It's not even like a sleep pod. I guess
Just
it is, but she just
normal
lays
sleeps.
down.
It's
but-
not like hibernation or anything.
Well, her sleeping pod is a plastic sheet that looks very uncomfortable. It looks like she is being squished against a window. You know, those like
Oh,
someone
yeah.
like Doctor Strange when they hit the side of the bus. It's that.
Oh.
Her ship's computer, Alfie, sings a little wake-up song that goes,
Coloration, look in line. Barbarella, rise and shine.
So she gets up, she inserts nourishment, which is like 2 inches of purple liquid that she drinks from a cup. And then
Gross.
she's like, ew.
It's the Grimace shake.
Yeah. The reason she was awakened is because there are
Magnetic disturbances.
that cause her to stumble around and fall. They lose navigation abilities, so she switches to manual. What would you guess the odds of survival are?
I'm more confused by it. I thought they were decelerating, and that's why she was
That's what I thought too.
awakened.
I think you're probably right.
No, but there was magnetic stuff.
Yes, and she fell around.
She fell around.
Oh, and Alfie breaks down. Like he's starting to break down.
Oh.
So he's getting magnetically disturbed.
I'm gonna say like 53%.
All right, it was 0.000.
Ah, Jesus.
How many zeros did I just say? 4 zeros, 2
Oh.
to 10,000. Who does odds to 10,000? That's weird, right?
I mean, it's a computer.
Yeah.
Probably just calculated it, and it was like, all right.
Anyway, they crash. Then Alfie gives her the weather. He's like, it's a pretty nice day. She can breathe on this planet, so she steps outside through an opening in the ship that looks like a butthole. It's intentional. A lot of this movie is like sexual imagery.
Gotcha.
Apparently they were inspired by The Wizard of Oz, which I should have said those two things in sequence, but yeah. Aesthetically, apparently they were inspired by...
I was gonna say, I'm like, The Wizard of Oz is not a very sexual movie that I'm aware of.
Before she goes out of the butthole thing, she changes clothes. If we were doing this live, we would change clothes every time she does, and we would... It's like 5 times. It's fine. It's just, I think it's funny because all the outfits are great. It's an ice planet. Ooh. She checks the damage of the ship, then it is approached by 2 children, to which she says, "What marvelous little girls."
Wait, she does or Alfie says that?
She does. Alfie's gone.
He's gone?
Well, he's in the
you
ship.
You can't, carry him?
No, I don't think you want to anyway. He's kind of a downer. So she goes,
What marvelous little girls. Hi.
They don't speak English, so she says,
Parlez-vous français?
Parlez-vous français?
Thank you.
I mean, you got it right.
I did. Everyone's going to say so. While she's adjusting her tongue box, remember earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the little girls packs a rock into a snowball and throws it at Barbarella's head, knocking her out.
It knocks her out.
And my question is, she gets knocked out like 5 times in this movie. Not good for the brain.
No, it's
not. But also, if you're going to throw a rock at her, why pack into a snowball?
Oh,
she wasn't looking
I missed
anywhere.
the part where he said the rock. I just heard the snowball.
It's less of a rock, more of like a gem.
Oh.
It's a rock, I guess.
Regardless, it'd be hard. So that makes more sense how she got knocked out.
They load her onto skis, and then they call over... I wrote down a flat octopus, and then I realized the word for that is manta ray. So they call over a manta ray thing. They put her on skis. She wakes up and she goes,
I haven't skied in ages.
And then there's just like a 30-second scene. The music starts playing. It's funky.
Okay.
Just a 30-second scene of her riding skis. Like the 2 little girls on the other side of her. It's just her riding skis with the manta ray.
Like the manta ray is her ski?
It's
the thing dragging her.
It's the dragging her. It's
okay.
like that dog thing that people do. Dog sledding. Or Santa's reindeer.
Or skiing.
Or
water skiing.
Or, yeah, you're on skis and you're being pulled by a flat octopus. One of those things. So they get pulled to Duran Duran spaceship. There are a ton of creepy kids, and I noticed this. I didn't notice this on all my other viewings, but each kid is in a set of 2, and they look identical. They're not the same. They're not actually twins, I don't think, like the actors, but I think they're meant to be like twins.
Okay.
There's like 5 groups of them. There are blue rabbits.
They're all Geminis.
I didn't really need to write that part down. So they tie her to a pole. She says, "This game has gone too far." And then she threatens to call their parents. One kid, or a bunch of kids, start placing dolls on the ground, like Chucky dolls.
Okay.
More like they look porcelain kind of.
Like Russian dolls?
No, they're like the size of Meek.
Oh, hi Meek.
And they're like just they're creepy looking, right?
Okay. Well, dolls are terrifying.
Anyway, the dolls start approaching her because they're alive. They're chomping down. They have metal teeth.
Oh.
And it's genuinely very upsetting. Like, it's one of the most upsetting things they've ever seen.
Really?
They get to Barbarella. They start biting the shit out of her. She's freaking out. The kids are smiling. They're loving it. She passes out. A man in like a really hairy bodysuit. Like, he clearly killed like Chewbacca and then just started wearing his body.
That's dark.
Basically, yeah, right? He comes with these 2 I wrote down goons. I found out later they're called blackguards, but
same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And I wrote this. Hold on. He has 2 goons with him. They catch all the kids in a net. Then they start whipping the kids.
Oh.
I wrote here, "It's fucked."
Yeah, that sounds very messed up.
And then while the goons lead the kids out, the hairy man saves Barbarella.
That's kind of him, I guess.
Yeah, Barbarella seems very uncomfortable when she's like awakened, but she's still very polite.
That's good job, Barbarella.
She still can't understand the guy, so once again she asks if he knows French. He doesn't.
Are those the only 2 languages she knows?
Apparently. I just found out Jane Fonda did. I think Jane Fonda speaks French because she did all the French dubs for the French dub of the movie.
Oh.
Anyway,
congrats,
she
Jane
adjusts the tongue box. Do you remember?
I do.
And I'm pretty sure the tongue box, like, I don't know what you're picturing, but I'm picturing, like, it's a translator, so it's translating what the other person says into a language that you understand just for you.
Yeah.
But it seems like it physically changes the language of the person you're around because he gets shocked when he's like, he says,
Are you all right?
and he says it like, "Are you all right?" It's super weird.
I'm picturing a Kleenex box, but like Kleenex is a tongue every time you say that.
It's more like a Ben 10 wristwatch, kind of.
Oh.
Oh, also that wristwatch thing will beep when she gets close to Duran Duran. It's got two functions.
Good. That's
Yeah.
a very cool wristwatch then.
So the hairy man's name is Mark Hand the Catchman. What do you think his job is?
Catching men.
Okay, but go further with that. You're on the right track, but go further. Who does he catch? Why does he catch them?
Is he like a bounty hunter? Is he like he goes to
Kinda.
get criminals essentially, or is he like a sex trafficker?
Honestly, he's a criminal. His job is to enforce the rule that all children must live in the ice and forests of Weir until they reach a serviceable age, and that's when he catches them and gives them to the authorities. So those kids he caught and then whipped are old enough now to be brought to the authorities.
So they're just they're not criminals until
they were
a certain age?
I think...
Even though they're murdering Barbarella?
Yeah, I was gonna say, those ones are criminals. It's just his job to, like, the kids just grow up however they're gonna grow up once they reach, like...
What?
Once they reach, like, 10 or whatever, they get taken to the police.
Not even like a family. They're just arrested.
No. Yeah. So in the background, the kids are still being whipped and screaming. Or here, I didn't actually write this, but it's fucked.
Yeah.
Mark doesn't know shit about Duran Duran, but he says she'll find her answers in Sogo, which is just beyond the ice deck.
Buy one, get one.
Kind of. It's for Sodom and Gomorrah.
That was close.
There's actually some like clever stuff. This is based on a comic book.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
She starts to explain that her ship is damaged, and he cuts her off, and he's like, I got it, I'll fix it, it's fine. They get to his ice ship, and this guy's leering up a storm. Like, he's a real creep.
What does leering mean?
Just like, when she
Like
walks
staring
by,
at her
he's like,
creepily?
yeah.
Okay.
They get into his ship. Barbarella's like, there's no wind. He's like, check this out. Then they get into his ship, and then he like pulls a lever and it goes, wind, and then it moves.
He's like a sandbender.
Kinda. So Barbarella, because she's grateful for being saved, goes, I want to make it up to you through like money or like government recompense.
Yeah. Free compensation?
What do you think he says?
He definitely is gonna say no, you, something like that.
That's when I first saw this movie in my head. I'm like, I bet this guy says we're gonna bone. And
yeah, something like that.
then he goes, you could let me make love to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least wrong regardless, but at least he said it in like a less creepy way, kinda. Instead of like, we're gonna fuck.
Yeah, like, he didn't demand it. Again, not to condone this creep.
Yes, it's wrong
but
regardless.
Anyway, she's confused because he doesn't know her psychocardiogram. He's confused.
Yeah.
On Earth, for centuries, people only made love if the psychocardiograms were in perfect confluence. He's still confused. She's like, whatever. Do you have any pills? He's confused. She's like, actually, I have some pills. They're an exaltation transference pellet. He's confused.
I'm confused.
On Earth, they take these pills and then they touch hands for either 1 minute or until full rapport is achieved. He's confused.
I don't know who made this movie, but I don't think they've been to Earth.
He says, can't we just use a bed? And then gestures towards, I guess, what is his bed, which just looks like a bunch of raggedy furs. Raggedy? I wrote raggedy.
Okay.
Raggedy furs, like, piled onto each other. She says, yuck. No one's done that for centuries except for the poor. Apparently, this kind of sex was proven pointless since it was a distraction and hindered efficiency, which is true.
Yeah.
I guess.
But like,
she's like,
fun and entertainment.
she's like,
I guess.
whatever, if you insist. And then she lays back onto the surprisingly vertical bed. I didn't realize that the bed was like, it's like a 45-degree angle. Is this 45 degrees?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
It's close enough.
He pulls down his shirt, like the hairy bodysuit.
Is he also hairy?
Good God, is he hairy? He's like hairier than the outside.
That's
of
gross.
It's fucking horrifying. Then he has like a seductive like head move
Like
up
a
to her.
snake?
Yeah, he like
Trying to
snakes
do a
up to her. Then it
chant
cuts to
her?
outside of the ship, and it's like going in circles now. I wrote, this is probably a metaphor.
For what?
I don't know.
Just
I was
is a
hoping-
metaphor.
We cut back inside. He's redressing. She is singing la da 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 da. She's loving it. Because this is her first time ever doing it the human way.
Yeah.
Despite being a human. He says, help yourself to my furs. She like picks up just like a random like animal fur. And it's just, she's like looking at the face of an animal. And she just like a little dance with it, then she puts it on. So Duran Duran goes out to fix the ship. He says he fixed it.
But he's not Duran Duran.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
I was gonna
Mark-
say, we haven't found him yet.
You're really paying attention. I'm going to pretend like that was a test.
Oh, thank you.
Mark says he fixed the ship. It's been like 2 seconds. So they part ways. She flies up. Turns out Mark sucks. I wrote that. The ship crashes and like burrows into a hole in the ground.
Oh, God.
Barbarella changes clothes because she realizes the fucking animal clothing she was wearing is weird.
It might be warm.
It's mostly
They're in,
because
like, a
the
cold
tail.
area.
Like when she went back into the ship, you know the butthole door?
Yeah.
It caught on the tail, so it looked like the butthole had a tail. It's a whole thing.
Got you.
I'll put it in the video. I'm allowed to. She steps out of the ship, trips, and a bunch of rocks tumble near her. She passes out. Then a blind angel starts feeling her up.
Oh.
He's like feeling her face, and then he moves down.
Oh, I mean, I guess he's blind.
Yeah, he isn't.
Like, he should stop after the face.
Yeah, I agree. She wakes up and she's like, "Oh, I'm dead," because you're seeing an angel. He says, "No."
How biblically accurate is this angel? Does it have like 20 eyes and stuff?
No, it's a gorgeous blonde man with a great rig and like
Great rig.
bod,
Oh.
and he's got wings.
He's got a nice car.
But I found out this fact, and this will blow your mind because I thought this was fucking weird. When they were making this movie in the comics, his name's Pygar, by the way. I was gonna say that in a second, but Pygar's wings are like perfectly white.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who was working on the film was a big fan of DC Comics and wanted to honor Hawkman.
Okay.
So the wings have a tinge of brown to them, even though they look pretty white to me. Like I didn't notice the brown tinge.
Why would it matter? Who's gonna watch Barbarella and be like, they
I
really
don't
honor
know.
Hawkman in this?
When was Hawkman even introduced?
I think he's been around longer than Hawkgirl, and then Hawkgirl, because of the Justice League cartoon, got more popular.
Okay. This was like 68 when this came out, so it must have been like 66, 67 when
Yeah,
they
it's
were making it.
recent. Yeah.
I did find out that the director has got a name. I want to put it up on the screen. Dino De Laurentiis or something.
Okay.
He was criticized by other people working on the film who like wanted to be good because he just wanted to make a cheap movie, not make a good movie.
Well, he
But I
succeeded in
maintain
both.
he did both. Yes. So Pygar tells her that she's in the labyrinth of the city of night and that he's not an angel. Remember that.
Okay.
He's Pygar, the last of the ornithanthropes.
Ornithanthropes?
Ornithanthropes. I wrote,
Natural.
he was blinded by a magnetic storm and carried to Sogo, where they blinded him.
Wait, so it wasn't the magnetic storm?
No, I thought it was at first. He was flying, and then he got caught in the magnetic storm, crashed, got dragged to Sogo, then they blinded him.
Was it the same one that brought her down?
No, he seems like he's been here for at least a few hours.
Okay.
Or at least a day.
At least a couple hours.
We find out Sogo is the city of night where the great tyrant reigns.
Is a great tyrant Duran Duran?
No.
Is that the twist?
If you had to guess, why do you think he can't fly anymore? Because there's an obvious reason. It's not that.
Oh, I just assumed it'd be because he can't see.
That is one
'Cause that
obvious
makes it
reason.
quite difficult
Maybe
to
he got
fly.
injured in the crash. Maybe they clipped his wings.
Can you really fly?
No, I've lost the will to fly.
So he cannot fly anymore.
I mean, it's kind of like Green Lantern.
You're
you
right.
blind him, he
There's
probably
a lot of
wouldn't be
DC
able to do
things
anything.
in this. And Wonder Woman is in the song.
Yeah.
Remember when I sang that for you earlier?
I did. It was great.
Pygar takes her to Professor Ping.
Ping?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit there. They pass through the labyrinth, which is just a bunch of misanthropes fucking.
So it's not even a maze?
No, it is a maze, but there are a bunch of people there just doing stuff.
Oh.
Some of them are embedded in rock. Some of them are part rock, and I wrote some are just regular.
Are there any other, like, angel kind of
No,
thing?
he's the only one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all like weird looking people. It's like, in
Star Wars.
yeah, in Star Wars when there's the labyrinth.
Yeah. You know in Dark, when there's not a labyrinth, the entire thing's a
yeah.
metaphor?
That's what the metaphor was that I mentioned earlier. I got it now. Okay, they meet Professor Ping, who looks like a goat man. He's not a goat man. I thought he was.
It's not whatever that thing is from...
Satyr?
Is it Sator?
I think
Yeah.
so. So Professor Ping observes Barbarella by putting a suction cup on his forehead, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
Leans in, is like, a human. I don't know how he knows she's a human because they all look the same.
Biology.
And then he goes, let me guess, you're a woman. And she goes, yeah. And he's like, that's all. He's like waiting for applause.
This absolute genius.
He's seen other women.
Yeah.
Like all the aliens we've seen look like human people.
Yeah.
Except for Pygar, who has wings. He's an ornithanthrope. They talk about eating orchids. The Great Tyrant thinks it's funny to feed them orchids. Professor Ping, just takes the orchid and shoves it in Pygar's face because he can't see it.
Yeah.
And Pygar's like,
He just
okay, and
feeds
he eats it.
It's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
So Sogo is a place dedicated to evil. The labyrinth is where all that is not evil is banished.
Can they get out?
No, they're
Or
not.
is the fact that because the labyrinth is so convoluted, they can't?
It's illegal to get out. I think they probably could.
It's kind of a jail.
Yeah,
For
later
good
on.
people.
But they're not good people. I mean, they're fine.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, they're the same as the... spoiler alert, we meet the people in the city. They're
Mm-hmm.
the exact same. I don't know how they decided who's good and who's evil. Pygar was banished because he's pretty and he has angel wings.
That's the natural thing to do.
Yeah, so to prove this, Ping tells... I wrote Barbs because I got tired of writing Barbarella. To look at one of the grand grotesques who is seemingly fading away, but in reality, his chest is just see-through. So I don't know if he was born that way.
Like his entire chest is see-through? Or can
Yeah,
you see
it's
his,
like-
organs?
It's right here, and then
Okay.
a woman behind him walks, and you can see the woman walk behind.
Okay.
So I think he's fading away, like Marty McFly.
After he begged his mom?
Yes. So Ping has heard of Duran Duran. He's in Sogo, but no one can leave the labyrinth. Oh yeah, there's the answer to your question.
Okay.
Ping offers to fix a spaceship. Pygar leads the way. So Ping's like, hey man, give me a pen. Pygar whips out a feather, just yanks it out. It looks painful. Ping says genius is mysterious, just to excuse the fact he clearly does not know how to fix the ship. He's like, it could take a day, it could take an hour, it could take 5 years. And Barbarella's like, oh, rats.
Oh.
How about we, Pygar, you fly me? And Pygar, he makes up another excuse. I think he's like, oh, like I'm sore. And then Ping's like, no, he's fine. He's just an idiot.
Well, she can be his eyes.
Yeah.
You know? So where's what's his face? The creep.
Oh, Mark?
Yeah.
We never see him again.
He's just. They give a reason? He's just gone.
Well, because
crash.
Barbarella crashed into the ground in the labyrinth.
Yeah.
He was on top.
Oh.
So he could have probably climbed down and jumped or something, but he didn't. So Barbarella's like, hey, Pygar, where do you live? She like bites her lip. And then so Pygar takes her to his house, which is a nest. And then we can hear like literal birds chirping in there. So he lives just birds. He's a human man except for the wings.
But he lives with birds.
In a
He's not
nest.
like he's not related to them in any way.
We don't find out.
He's not,
well, he
like,
says he's
that's
the
not his
last.
family
He's
or
the
something.
last of the ornithoptropes.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think so. Right in that moment, Barbarella gets attacked by one of the whip goons I wrote, one of the Blackguard people. Isn't there a Marvel character called Blackguard or DC?
I wouldn't be surprised. There's Black Knight.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I think there is. So Barbarella goes to shoot him, knocks the whip knocks the gun out of her hand. Pygar picks it up, and then Barbarella directs him where to shoot. And then
Why didn't she just shoot?
well, the gun that knocked out of her hand.
Oh, I missed that part of it.
And then maybe I didn't say that, but
No, I think you did. I just
so then
focused more on the latter
Pygar
half.
shoots him, and he fucking explodes. Like, it's not just a normal gun, he explodes. And then I wrote, the goon explodes, it's nuts. We find out that they're called the Blackguard, and that they're leather men without fleshy substance. So morally, they're all in the clear. They didn't murder
Morally,
someone.
they already murdered cows to make them.
Good point. That's why they're in the labyrinth.
Yeah.
Well, no.
They're not in the labyrinth.
Yeah. After that, we cut to Barbarella in the nest going la da 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 again.
That scares me.
They boned.
Yeah, that
and
implies...
Pygar can fly now.
Can he see? Did
No.
that magically cure his blindness?
Professor Ping says, that's interesting therapy. They fly to Sogo. Barbarella will be the eyes and will shoot down the Blackguards with her mini missile projector. That's one of the hand ones.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Do they shoot the missiles like fingers?
No, again, I think the hand's on the back. So it doesn't make any sense why they're...
Dang
Also,
it.
to clarify the reason, like, she's like, why would anyone build a weapon? Then she gets weapons. The president got him out of a museum.
So they're really old.
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, Pygar does a bunch of barrel rolls, and I wrote, it is dope. Pygar gets shot, they tumble for a bit. He's fine, though.
That's good. I like Pygar.
Anyway, there's this really extended... I think this is what a lot of sci-fi movies are missing. It's like a spaceship fight. What are those called?
Space battle? I don't know.
Sure, but one side is a blind angel carrying someone, and the other side are people in ships with guns.
That's even. That's fair.
But they win, somehow.
Because Barbarella.
And then Pygar is like, hey, we should probably go to a backyard or back street somewhere. It's to be seen in Sogo with an angel would be anathema.
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 Is this their own little language that they have?
That's a real word, I'm pretty sure. I just don't know what it means.
There's no way. That's fake.
Anyway, some women
It's
see
French,
Pygar
probably.
and swoon immediately. They're just walking through town. Pygar claims he can sense danger. Comes out of nowhere.
Then how would he be blinded?
And then Barbarella's like, it's okay. Like, shut the fuck up. You're being annoying, Pygar. But then, 2 dudes come and kidnap Barbarella.
Dang it,
Yeah.
Barbarella. You should have been prepared.
And then Barbarella's like, what do you want? And then she's like, oh, I get it now. And then she realizes that she's about to have sex with 2 dudes. Yeah, but then a mystery woman with an eye patch shows up and stabs them.
Good job.
And then she
Mr.
repeatedly
Woman.
tells Barbarella that she's pretty.
That happens in a lot of movies, I feel like. Like
Yeah,
they save
it kinda
someone
does.
and all they do is talk about how pretty the person
It
is.
is odd.
It's
It's
very
an odd,
strange.
like, phenomenon in film.
Yeah. Like,
What would you say if you saved someone? You wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd be like,
I'm
are
not
you?
constantly talking
Yeah,
about that.
I'd be
I'm
like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Those guys were just here, and I stabbed them.
Yeah.
You good?
It's like, give me money. I just saved you.
Anyway, Barbarella's not having it with this lady. She goes, my name's not pretty, it's Barbarella.
Good job, Barbara.
Anyway, she
Stand
goes to
up for
find
yourself.
Pygar, and she can't, but she hears screaming, and then I wrote this down verbatim to quote. I think this is one of the best quotes in cinematic history. She hears screaming, and then she goes,
A good many dramatic situations begin with screaming.
She's right.
yeah.
I'll give her that.
Pygar is being tortured, kinda. There's just a bunch of people yanking out feathers. He's blind, doesn't know what to do, even though he could probably, like, not to victim blame, but he's just standing there like a stone.
He could stick his arms out and spin
He
in a
could
circle.
fly.
No, he could do a little twister and hit everyone.
Anyway,
around
this
him.
guy is about to stab Pygar for some reason. Like, everyone else just seems to be having fun. This guy comes in with a knife or, like, a big-ass
There's
sword.
always that one guy.
Yeah,
who just has to
every
take it too
friend
far.
group has that guy.
What's
Barbarella...
his face from It?
All of them.
All of them? No, there's the one bully that's just like, their other ones are stupid and messed up, but he's
the
like
one
bringing
that
out the knife,
apparently
like,
is
we're gonna kill him.
Yeah. So Barbarella jumps in the way. He's like, Pygar, behind you, there's a door. They enter the Chamber of Ultimate Solution. It's actually just a chamber of death. You choose one of 3 exciting and new ways to die. If you don't choose, you're given to the Mathmos. Mathmos.
So just more math. You're just forced to do math for the
We'll
rest
get
of
to
your life.
it. But yeah, so they have 3 doors. Each one is a new and exciting, fun way to die.
So you die no matter what. It's
Yeah.
not like a...
And then a lady goes into one. Barbarella and Pygar are like, well, we might as well. So they're about to open one, and then a guy shows up. It's like, wait, stop, don't do that. We find out he's the Great Tyrant's concierge.
Great Tyrants?
Yeah, the Great Tyrant.
Oh, Tyrant. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought his name was Tyrants.
The Great Tyrant. Anyway, he explains what the Mathmos is. It's a liquid goo. It's a lake made of energy that watches everyone and feeds on negative psychic vibrations, which is why everyone in the city is evil, because they feed it with negative vibrations and power. And then the Mathmos gives them warmth and like energy and shit.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Pygar is taken. The concierge drops Barb down a tube ship. That's not right. The concierge drops Barbarella down a tube slide. At the bottom of it is like a sci-fi bar. It's pretty cool.
Like the Star Wars one?
Yeah, the Great Tyrant is in a big balloon. It pops.
Okay.
She's a horn. It's a woman who...
She is a horn?
No, she has a horn.
Oh.
It's the woman who stabbed those dudes from earlier. Remember her?
The one that kept playing Pretty Pretty?
Yeah. Barbarella goes...
You, the little one-eyed wench.
So the Great Tyrant starts is like, I'm here, I know what you seek. And she's like, oh, Duran Duran. And she's like, no, you fucking dummy. It's like Pygar. And she's like, what? And then the Great Tyrant lists off Pygar's crimes: leaving the labyrinth, killing 12 blackguards, and then depriving Tyrant of pleasure. Then a door opens. Pygar is being dangled. Jesus imagery. I wrote that part. She grabs the gun. Oh, yeah. So earlier, when they were flying through the air, Barbarella puts a gun in Pygar's underwear. Okay. He's like, she's like, excuse me. And he's like, you're excused. It comes back though. It's clever.
Wow, it's like that one guy's gun.
Chekhov's
You think they came up with that?
underwear.
And then Chekhov stole it?
Almost certainly. So Barbarella goes up, takes the gun from the undies, and then she yells,
Decrucify the angel. What? Decrucify him or I'll melt your face.
decrucify the angel or I'll melt your face. The tyrant lowers Pygar. Turns out, and this is crazy, that the tyrant's face is important to her.
Okay. Why would it be? She's a horn.
But we find out
Doesn't need a
that
face.
Barbarella's bluffing because the gun ran out of energy. She's got a little thing on her ankle, I think. It has energy in it, and then the gun's like source from that energy.
Oh, okay.
And Duran's like, look, she's out of energy. It's a bluff.
Duran. Do we find them
Fuck.
finally?
What's his name? Concierge.
Tyrants!
Tyrants. Duran is just such a fun name.
They never show up. That's the twist. They don't exist.
Anyway, they decide to give Barbarella to the birds. So they take off Barbarella.
Pygar's family?
Nah. Oh, maybe. I mean, no, but
Oh.
maybe. Then the Great Tyrant says, tell me, my fancy fuzzy freak, what do you think when you make love to Barbarella? This is...
That's what he thinks.
Tell me, my fancy fuzzy freak, what do you think of when you make love to Barbarella?
Make love? I do not understand.
So then the Great Tyrant puts Pygar's hand on her bod to be like, you're blind, but look at my beauty.
Okay.
And then she says something like, if you had even one eye, you'd know what you're missing, boy. I'm fucking awesome. He doesn't say this. Well, he says part of this. He doesn't say the first part. He goes, I won't fuck because an angel does not make love. An angel is love. Remember when I said he wasn't an angel?
Yeah, but now he's an angel.
Yeah.
And he also made love.
Yeah. So she sends him to the Mathmos and calls him a winged fruitcake.
It's a good insult. I'm gonna start calling people that.
An angel does not make love. An angel is love.
Then you're a dead duck. God! To the Mathmos with this winged fruitcake.
So he's gone to the Mathmos. He's there now. He's dead.
Aw.
So they bring Barbarella to the bird cage. First, she's like, "Aw, how cute! They're like cute little birds." They start to peck though, and then she goes, "This is another really great line."
What kind of bird are they?
They were supposed to be hummingbirds, but they filmed this in Europe, I think, and they weren't. It's illegal to transport birds overseas, so they'd use
Probably
other
smart,
birds.
yeah.
I did find out. You know the film reviewer Roger Ebert,
No, wait.
like Siskel and Ebert. You definitely have.
The dude with the mustache?
No, you're thinking of those puppets from the Muppets. Yeah, probably has a mustache at some point. Anyway, he visited set for some reason, and he said, he was like, yeah, so the birds weren't acting properly. So what they did is they put a fan to blow the birds into Barbarella, who had birdseed in her clothes.
And then that's why they started pecking?
Apparently. Well, so that happened, and then, but because the birds were being blown by a fan, they weren't like physically acting properly. Like they were losing their physical functions. And then eventually Jane Fonda, the actress, went to the hospital with like a really bad fever. So they
Did she get the bird flu?
Maybe. Holy shit. Anyway, then Roger Ebert went, but I can't reveal how they actually filmed the scene. I don't know why you can't, like, legally, or it's, like, even worse than that.
They trained birds to attack Jane Fonda, and then it just happened to be on camera, so they're like, all right, we gotta put it in the movie.
Anyway, there's another great line. Barbarella goes, "This is really much too polite a way to die." No, sorry. "This is really much too poetic a way to die."
Why is it? Because she... What?
Because I guess she...
Screwed an angel who had wings?
An ornithophobe.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets dropped down another tube, and at the bottom of the tube is Dildano, head of the Revolutionary Forces. I wrote, he looks like Paul Dano with a mustache.
Who?
Paul Dano.
Who's Paul Dano?
The Riddler from Batman. Yeah. Picture him with like a little mustache and British. That's Dildano.
Okay.
This part of the movie gets really weird because it takes
This
like...
part.
Okay, so most of the movie, like, there's goofy stuff in it, right? But when we meet Dildano, it becomes, like, this sketch comedy thing. Like, he's just a goofball, and he's an idiot, and there's, like, lingering scenes where at one point he meets some dude, they go, "All hail revolutionary," and then he's like, "Go through the secret passage, but it won't work."
Okay,
And then so Dildano's like, it's like, I don't know what they're doing.
He's a funny little guy.
Yeah.
They had a
Comes
laugh
out of
track and
nowhere.
everything, I'm sure.
So he asks if she's the typical Earth woman. She says she's about average. She's not, though. She's known as, I think the New York Times raked her as the biggest sex goddess or the best sex goddess of the 60s or something.
They called it like that?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Right? So she's humble.
Aww.
And then he says, and I think this is like genuinely kind of profound, he goes, "A life without cause is a life without effect." It's a neat play on words.
That's a statistics thing.
Anyway, she's like, "Hey man, you saved me. You want some government recompense, some money, some stuff?" And he's like, "No." And then Barbarella's like, "Oh, I know what you want." She starts undressing. Have some respect for yourself, but also she's like loving it. It's like her sexual revolution. So good for her.
Okay.
But also, I don't know what. I probably shouldn't comment on this too much. So she begins to undress. He's like, "No, I want to do it the pill way," because he's like an Earth weeb. He's really into Earth.
So she gets to go back to her
She
normal
does
ways.
not want to do it. She's like, "Oh, can we do it your way?" Because, you know, she goes la da 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 after all of it.
Yeah.
She loves it. Anyway, rock music starts to play. We see the full experience. It's super awkward.
Like, it's now shown? It's not, like, cut to after.
Well, it's
her
just them
singing?
holding hands.
Oh, they just do that part.
Yeah. It's super awkward. They get walked in on. Some dude shows up. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's just standing there like, "Ah!" And then Barbarella, her hair starts, like, blowing. Her hair gets curled. It looks great.
That's good.
So she, like, pulls off. She's like, "Oh," she fixes her hair. And she realizes that he's not done. So she's like, "Okay." And she goes back in. The hands start, like, smoking. Like, steam's coming out from between them.
That's friction right there.
Then his hair gets blown. It looks bad. Yeah, he squeals. I forgot about this dude, but the dude who walked in on them just stood and watched. And his name's John Paul.
Like, that's the actor or the
No,
guy
that's
in
the
show?
guys. They say.
His name's John Paul.
Yeah.
You just watch it. It's kind of creepy, man.
Yeah, right? So Barbarella's like, "Who gave you those pills?" He says, Durand.
Finally.
Right? She puts on some new clothes because, you know, hers got pecked by the birds. He has some, for some reason, I wrote that. He just has a bunch of, like, she has options. She's like, I don't, like, she pulls out one, it's got, like see-through breast areas, but they're red. And so she's like, I don't want this one. She picks one with one see-through breast, the whole thing.
That's better. That's like the thing, the picture, the statue, whatever it was. It's a callback.
That's a callback. So they come up with a plan. So he wants to have a revolution. What's his name? Dildano.
Yeah.
He wants to have a revolution. So the Black Queen is vulnerable when she sleeps in a room above the Mathmos.
Most people are vulnerable when they sleep.
That's what I
It's
thought.
like the big thing.
Yeah, it's like very... But she sleeps in this room, and the walls are invisible, but he has a key to it, but the key's invisible. And he says, only an invisible key can open an invisible wall. He, like,
so you
reveals
can just see
the
her
key.
in the room
Yeah.
sleeping?
He, like, reveals the key. Barbarella tries to find it. Dildano lost the key like a fucking idiot. Then he goes and he finds it. It's pretty quick. It, like, jingles. That's how you know where it is. And then he like, puts it around her neck. And again, this whole scene, it's, like, super, like, goofy. Like, he can't get the clasp right. And he's like, "Sorry, it's, like, invisible. I don't know what I'm doing right there." And she's like, "Okay, like, whatever."
It's a 10 out of 10 joke right there.
Then she goes into a tube. She's gonna get, like, tubed up. She's gonna get sucked up into the air like a Futurama tube.
That's what I was trying to... Yeah.
It doesn't work. He, like, walks away. It does work. Dildano's like, sick. So she emerges into like like sci-fi bar sort of thing. It's like a bunch of people just like lounge. It's like a lounge room where people are doing drugs. And
drugs are bad, kids.
Yes, and there are men in these big like flasks, like those boiler flasks, the round one from Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Not a boiler flask, it's whatever Walter White says, and they're just floating around in there. And then Barbarella hits a vape that contains essence of man,
that would go hard.
Yeah, which is why those guys are just in that like flask of water, just floating around.
Okay.
Anyway, she gets caught. Like fucking the concierge just walks by with the black guards. Like, oh hey, it's you. Like, you're alive. Okay. So they bring her, the concierge brings her to a piano, and the concierge plays a song.
It's a good song.
It's called Sonata for Execution and Various Young Women. This machine, it's called the Excessive Machine. It will kill her from pleasure.
I guess that's a good way to go out.
Right? So he starts playing Sonata for Execution and Various Young Women. She's like sweating. The concierge is like moving his head like a savant. He's like shaking his head.
Okay.
She orgasms so many times that the machine overheats.
What the hell?
We're gonna do another.
Those are myths.
We're gonna do another take of that because I don't know if I can say orgasm on YouTube. She is
finishes.
Can I
better?
say that?
I don't know.
I'll do a bunch. She finishes so many times that the machine overheats. Her capacity to receive and enjoy pleasure is so vast that the machine overheats.
Oh, that's good. That's
the
good.
concierge is pissed. He's like, my excessive machine. It couldn't keep up with you. Have you no shame? Rude. First of all, you're the one who fucking tried to kill her, you prick.
With that machine.
And then he says, I'll do things to you that are beyond all known philosophies.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
And also, it's like, that's a weirdly seductive thing to say to someone.
Her tracking device is beeping.
Okay.
Remember earlier when I said Durand was the concierge by accident?
Yeah.
He is the concierge.
Oh.
Barbarella's like, you look like shit. The photo I saw of you were 25. And he's like...
That was 25 years ago.
That's what I thought. But then he goes, the math most takes a toll. And Barbarella's like, you look like you aged 30 years. And he's like, it sucks. Like, it's hard here. I wrote, twist, concierge is Durand. I already told you like 20 minutes ago. She's like, let's go back to Earth, pal. Like, I've been here to send you. Let's fucking get out of here. And he's like, no, I hate earthly people. Like, Durand is like, I hate their, like, quarrels. I hate their, like, ethics. Like, all this stupid stuff that Earth does. Okay. I love it here. They're evil. He's like, I see the value of evil. And he wants to destroy the Black Queen. Just now, they changed it from the Great Tyrant or the Black Tyrant to the Black Queen.
Okay.
Like, that wasn't always what it was.
No.
They shifted it.
It was always the Tyrant.
What the fuck did I just write here? He tops her in the Chamber of Dreams. That's not accurate.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is that the fake thing? Is that your trick?
No, I
just forgot about it.
The fuck? What do I mean?
Well, I mean, I can only wait. Okay, where is it? I want to read it.
He tops her in the Chamber of Dreams. Taps?
Is it tips? Does he do like a little dance and then?
Oh, like... traps. I skipped a bit, but Barbarella's like, I have a key on my neck, and he's like, dope, let's go. And he takes her to the Chamber of Dreams. It's weird because she's like, okay, show me the way, and he's like, after you. She doesn't know the way. Anyway, they get there. She's like walks into the invisible wall. Mm-hmm. It's not invisible. You can see her reflection in it.
So it's just transparent.
It's a transparent wall. And then she's like trying to put the key in, but she can't find the keyhole. Then Durand tries to grab it out of her hand. She's just like, no. And then they're like fighting over it. And then he grabs it and throws it to the ground. And it goes into a puddle, which is apparently the keyhole.
Oh.
So then she's like, okay, I guess I trust you. They go in. He goes in, Durand. He grabs the Black Queen's key. Then he quickly runs back outside of the invisible wall, closes the door, throws it into the thing, locks her inside. So now the Barbarella in the Chamber of Dreams.
With the Queen.
With the Black Queen. The chamber projects the Queen's dream of Pygar. Barbarella runs towards it. It's the scene of her being like, why not me, Pygar? Like, I'm cool too. It's a pretty cool scene. It's just Barbarella running through dreams.
I feel like you've mentioned that to me before.
I don't think I ever...
Like, maybe not specifics, but you're like, oh yeah, she runs through dreams. Yeah. Or my brain just made that up for some reason.
She's not going into them. It's just like basically like big screens and she's like running through them and she appears somewhere else. It's like a magic room where she goes one way and she ends up the other. And then she ends up right next to the Black Queen. Okay. Wakes her up. The Black Queen's like, I know you're a dream. And she's like, yeah, maybe, but let's just focus on reality here for a second, okay? she's like, it is you, Barbarella, what happened? And she's like, we got trapped in here. Kind of sucks, doesn't it? And then she's like, yeah, that does suck. So Barbarella's like, yeah, so your dude, Duran, it's Twist, I didn't know that was him, is going to become the new king. And the Black Queen's like, oh, god damn it. Fucking dude.
This is the third time. I gotta stop hiring assistants.
She, like, opens up her bed, does some dials, and then, like, a TV appears, and we're watching Duran about to be crowned king, and they're lowering
That was so quick.
Yeah, right? They're lowering the crown, and then someone runs in and is like, the rebels, they're here. So Dildano got, there's a whole scene earlier. Dildano calls Ping, because they're in cahoots, and then they talk on the phone. They're like, let's get the ship going, let's get some guns, let's fucking raid this bitch. Sorry, I don't want to say that on live television.
Yeah, we'll raid this bitch on live television.
Let's just raid the
B-I-C-T-H.
Let's just raid the capital.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's so many stupid like jokes in that scene with Dildano. It's weird.
I'm sure they're all great jokes.
Anyway, so they're lowering the crown. The guy runs in and is like, oh, Dildano and Ping, they're raiding the capital. They've raced the crown back up.
They have an Agni Kai.
And then Duran is like, fucking send the people. Like, just go stop them.
Yeah.
So they send a bunch of ships. The ships get shot down. The guy runs back in. He's like, all of them are dead. And Duran, they lower the crown again. He's like, oh, thank God. And the guy's like, no, all of our guys are dead. And they raise the crown back up. So he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And then he gets his positronic ray from earlier.
He finally has it.
We see it in action. It like literally decimates the rebels. It like
my God.
evaporates them. They turn green, then they're gone.
Ah.
Yeah, it's nuts. So BQ frees the Mathmos. What I meant to say was Black Queen decides that if she's gonna die, they're all going with her. So she frees the Mathmos, which I think I forgot to mention, but it's a lake. Did I say that?
You said it was a lake.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a lake. She's like, I'll just let it out. We'll all die. Whatever.
Big old flood.
Yeah, so she does that. She says it'll become the apocalypse for Sogo. That's fine.
No one cares
This
about
place kind of
Sogo.
sucks.
It's a weird underworld.
Anyway, so Mathmos is rising. The Black Queen and Barbarella are like going down into the Mathmos, but they form a bubble. The Mathmos forms a bubble around them because no, it's one up. The Mathmos creates a bubble to protect itself from Barbarella's innocence. Then the Black Queen goes, "You are so good, you made the Mathmos vomit," because they got vomited out. They see Pygar. So it's right over there. Remember I said he was dead?
Yeah.
Twist, he's not.
Oh
He's
my God.
also invulnerable to the Mathmos.
Why?
Duran, because he's so good.
No, he's not.
Duran dies. They fight over, Duran dies. Then Pygar's there unconscious. They're like, okay, we gotta give mouth to mouth. The Black Queen wants to do it because she's in love with him. Barbarella, it doesn't work, so Barbarella goes in. And then they get up, and then he's like, we gotta go fucking...
True love's kiss. It worked.
He's like, we got the Mathmos is rising. I mean, they're all fine.
Mm-hmm.
But so Pygar...
Wait, why is the Black Queen fine? Just because she's next to him?
Yeah, she was in the bubble. She just got lucky.
Okay.
So Pygar, they grabs onto Barbarella, and then the Black Queen grabs onto Pygar, then they fly off. And then Barbarella goes,
Pygar? What did you save her for after all the terrible things she's done to you?
An angel has no memory.
Pygar, why did you bring the Black Queen when she tried to kill us a bunch?
Mm-hmm.
And
Good question.
Pygar goes, an angel has no memory. And then the movie ends.
So he's just accepting himself angel now?
I guess. And since when does he not have a memory?
Maybe he was really down in the dumps, so he was like, I'm not an angel. And then now that he's better now, he has will, he's like,
but he has a memory. Remember, Barbarella was like, what happened to your eyes? And he's like, I was in a magnetic storm, and then I fell, and it was blinded me.
I thought it was more like a
metaphorical,
yeah, I don't have a memory, I'll forgive you.
But he should have said, an angel always forgives. Also, I'm an angel now.
Nah, that's not as poetic, probably. It's too much like Jesus. He needs to be slightly different.
No, he's better than Jesus in many ways.
Well,
I might cut that part out.
You probably should. The last person who said that, well, not really, but John Lennon.
Look, this
movie
movie
got shot because he said
movie
it
was
more
bigger
popular
than Jesus. Oh, Barbarella, psychedella, never can a woman name or call you